Up, Eagles Nation? It's your one and only Green Wing Man coming from you on a really crappy Saturday afternoon. Guys, I would like to apologize for not being on this channel a lot. I've been working my ass off at my other job, as well as I'm working on a new channel that I will be announcing in the next coming months, so stay tuned. Also, with this channel, with the Green Wing Man, I'm also working with a couple of people to see if we can get this channel a couple of things that I want to try to do with this channel to make it interactive and fun and a learning experience as I am learning about our one and only Philadelphia Eagles. But without further ado, I want to talk about the situation between our two wide receivers, and that is Mr. Nelson Agholor and Mr. Jordan Matthews. Now, the whole situation that I'm having at the moment. Now, Nelson Aguilar has been doing very well. He's been playing very, very well. He's been working his ass off from what a lot of beat writers and reporters and even fans that got a chance to see him in action on Saturday's game when I think he made a really good pass. Don't know if some of it was normal cheers. Others were sarcastic, whatever. Though, but from what I'm telling, the guy has had incredible work ethic. The only issue with Nelson Aguilar, he's always had very good work ethic. It's just he's never been able to take that ethic into a game time situation where he sat down and dropped a lot of balls, and because he's been dropping a lot of balls, it has affected his psyche. And I get that as a guy, a person personally, I get into my head a couple of times. I'm very hard on myself when things are not working well or they're not going as I hope they would in my mind. So I get Nelson Aguilar's situation. That being said, um, Nelson Aguilar has always been a really hard worker. It's just he hasn't been able to take that skill into the regular season, and um, you know, and he's had the opportunity to play slot, which I believe is more of his natural position, since Mr. Jordan Matthews has been out. I think due to injury. I believe what is it, tendonitis in the foot. I might be wrong, or I might just be making shit up. Correct me in the comments below. But Nelson Aguilar has sat down and flourished very, very well. And now this kind of leaves the Eagles situation in a bind. If does the Eagles organization trust to put Nelson Aguilar in that third wide receiver slot? And that's a decision they gotta make very, very soon within the next couple of weeks, because again, Jordan Matthews' contract is up, and knowing how the Eagles organization does business, they would have already had him signed. So that has to leave me that Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson, along with the Eagles staff, doesn't really see Jordan Matthews in their future plans of hopefully being more playoff contenders and hopefully trying to win a Super Bowl. Now, again, I'm indifferent with Jordan Matthews. I appreciate, again, that's not saying that I don't not like Jordan Matthews. I very appreciate it. He's actually been one of our more consistent wide receivers. I know he's dropped a couple of balls, but alongside Zach Ertz, he has been our top wide receiver, and has been very consistent for us. Now, I think it kind of his stock hurt a little bit when Peterson tried to move Matthews to more of a wideout, and that's not his strength. He's more of a slot guy. He's a natural slot guy. But with Nelson Aguilar, he can play a little bit both. Although I don't know why they're saying that Nelson Aguilar is more multi-dimensional than Jordan Matthews, because they did put Nelson Aguilar on the wide out, and he does have the speed and he can run those clean routes, but he just couldn't catch the ball. So, but from what I'm hearing, that's all changing right now. They're saying that he's able to play a wide out position and able to make great catches from Carson Wentz. I heard there was a little bit of a story where Wentz made a great pass to Aguilar, and after the end of that practice, even Jordan Matthews surprisingly gave him the winning ball, and all the players sat down and lined up together in pins like in bowling, and then Nelson Agholor kind of rolled the football, and everybody got knocked down, and just to show that they're all behind Nelson Agholor and they're all supportive of the guy. So I'm loving that there's a great camaraderie. I'm loving that there's great group togetherness right now with our team. But going back to the wide receiver position, you have to think as a guy as Jordan Matthews, that must be a bit discouraging because you don't have a place on the squad by the end of the year, unless Jordan Matthews plays out of his mind to change their minds. He doesn't have a place by the end of this year. So, going back to my question, as an Eagles fan, would you make the decision to put Nelson Agholor in slot? Because again, you've been hearing great things in training camp. He's a very hard worker. He runs smooth routes. He has the speed. He has the strength. But you're afraid of his history. Does he have the mental capacity to be able to play 16 games and to not let little things like drop balls get in his head? Because my fear is when the season starts and say he's playing lights out, but then there's a critical situation where he drops a ball. Will the fan base get on him and start ragging on him for not making that easy completion? And with that, will he start to degress in his mental state where he's worrying and panicking and he's back to being in his head again, and then everything kind of reverses? All that hard work that he did during training camp is gone. It's a very difficult risk that they gotta figure out, because if Nelson Agholor is good and they feel comfortable, what do you do with Jordan Matthews? I figured at the end you would have to try to trade Mr. Matthews to hopefully, a team where hopefully you can get cornerback help, because right now, coming out of training camp and from the beat reporters and all the news sites, they're saying right now the corners are not looking too good. They're not looking really, really good. Now, again, I believe you got to put these corners through the fire, because, a good corner is not developed in a day, but I'm thinking right now in the NovaCare complex, the staff is, they don't want to go into the season with two bad corners that can't block the best offensive weapons right now in an NFL with Odell Beckham, Des Bryant, and Terrell Pryor. So yeah, I guess again this is kind of my little rant. I'm gonna end it right here and then just kind of throw the question to you guys. Are you comfortable in putting Nelson Agholor in the third wide receiver slot? And if you do, with Jordan Matthews, would you try to trade Jordan Matthews to see if you can get better assets? Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Like to hear comments down below. Check out my Twitter and my Facebook, where I do try to post questionnaires and other tidbits daily. And like I said, I'm working on some cool stuff for Green Wingman's YouTube channel. So I hope that you guys stay around and check that out. Until then, this is your Green Wingman. Philadelphia, Eagles Nation, stay fly. Enjoy this weekend.